It is now 2:01. Trial is supposed to have started at 2, or the hearing is supposed to have started at 2, and I still haven't been let into the hearing yet. Just waiting to get this over with. I did call the clerk for this judge yesterday and confirm that this hearing is still on the docket. As far as I know, it should still be on the docket, and I should have been let in already. Hey, can I borrow one of y'all's work phones real quick? Your work phone? Appreciate it.
4646. The Office of Circuit Judge Lisa S. Porter. This is Serena, a judicial assistant.
Yo. Hey.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I put your video on?
Why is it not letting me?
Alright, we are back. Ayala, New York matter, 20 DR 4403. Your motion for contempt, Mr. Ayala.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Filed a motion of contempt. I was supposed to have time sharing every Wednesday per the court order for the final judgment, every Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. in Seminole County. Despite this being an unfair arrangement, I actually managed to make it up to the area a Wednesday ago, and attempted to see my daughter, but the respondent refused. She wanted me to have traveled closer to her home, which I did not want to do because I do not trust her. She stated that she only wants to go ahead and meet at a police station, but not at the normal police station that we agreed to in Altamont, but closer to her home just for her convenience. Despite the fact that I have driven over 200 miles to come spend time with her. Because she didn't get her way, she decided to go ahead and keep our daughter from me. She refused to answer calls and messages. I called police, was unable to get any assistance from them. I went to her home. She apparently has a camera system on her front door. When she saw that I was at her home, she only messaged me that I was trespassing, despite her living in a apartment complex. And that's the only message that I got from her. This isn't the first time that I've had issues with time sharing with her. She has been late over an hour and a half before on picking our daughter up, claiming that it was due to traffic, but after tracing out the traffic from her home to the pickup site, there was no any kind of accidents or delays on the highway. She has made many violations to 61.13, best interest of the child. She continues to withhold medical information that's necessary for me to know. She does not keep me informed of what's going on with our daughter. She continues to go ahead and act in her own self-interest without thinking what is in the best interest of our daughter. I have tried very limitedly to try to go ahead and be peaceful with her, but she has no interest in it if it does not suit her needs, Your Honor. Again, she goes ahead, she doesn't act upon the needs of the daughter. She has limited moral fitness. She has no disposition to keep me informed of anything to do with her, our daughter, or employment. It seems that she has been unemployed again, and despite have held that information before and it was noted in court, she continues to not keep me informed of things to make things easier for time sharing. Your Honor, there has to be a change. All I'm trying to do is look out for the best interests of our daughter, and if it doesn't suit her needs, she absolutely refuses to go ahead and cooperate on any level. If it's not her way, she doesn't want to do it.
All right, I guess it's time for Ms. York to respond.
So on the Wednesday drop-off, I agreed to meet him at the Sanford Police Department. He was refusing to meet me there and told me he was going to pick her up from daycare. I told him no. And then he told me Altamont, and Altamont didn't work with my work schedule. So I told him Sanford. And he said, you know what? If it's Sanford, then I'm going to take her back to Fort Myers, and you could pick her up there. So I told him at that point, no, since you're threatening to take her back to Fort Myers, I'm not going to drop her off. And then he showed up to my home, banging on my door, trying to see if my door was unlocked. I have the video proof of it, and he called me over 100 times, which he's not supposed to even be calling me.
So what's been going on since the last time I saw you all? Which was when?
August.
August? Have you had all your weekends, Mr. Ayala?
I have, Your Honor. She has been late to drop her off. She has been late to pick her up. Again, like I stated, she continues to withhold medical information. Since August...
What medical information is she withholding?
Doctor's visits. My daughter has been sick for every visit that I've had her except for one, which was the visit before this last one. She continues to have respiratory infections, the flu. She's had multiple constant earaches. When I've addressed her about this and had asked her to ask the doctor to make sure that she doesn't need tubes put in her ears, she already knew the answer for it and gave it to me on the spot, proving that she already knew what the answer was, that she just doesn't tell me because she doesn't want to. Her constant excuse is that I don't ask, but you can't ask every single day if my daughter went to the doctor today, that she happened to go get sick again. That's not something that you can prevent, and it constantly shows that the only thing she's interested in is continuing to have me communicate with her. Per the order, Your Honor, I'm supposed to have our daughter from 5 to 8 on Wednesdays. For some reason, she has our daughter in a daycare outside of the county, 30 minutes away from her home, when she works from home. I don't understand the reasoning for that, or why it's so necessary when I have looked and there are more suitable daycares closer to her home area. It's an unnecessary travel, especially when she works from home. She has used her work schedule as an excuse multiple times, saying that she cannot go ahead and change her work schedule. But if you happen to look on the order at the very bottom, I included a picture from our daughter's doctor's website, and it shows here that she's had 2 visits that are quite far from her home. They're on the very far east and very far west of Orlando. To put into perspective, if she lived in Fort Myers, she took our daughter to a doctor's visit once in Punta Gorda and another time at the bottom of Naples, which distance-wise, it doesn't make any sense. And time-wise, if you look, it shows that the first one was at 8 in the morning and the second one was at 4:40 in the afternoon. If she just
Have you asked her about that?
I have, and she hasn't answered. She will go ahead and bring up on my end Thanksgiving. Per the order, it has been unspecific. All it says is that I have Thanksgiving holiday. Before Thanksgiving, I informed her 3 weeks prior that I had visitation the weekend before Thanksgiving. So I was going to pick her up that Friday and return her the Friday after Thanksgiving. She ignored it. The app shows that she read the message, and in order to avoid it, she started a new message thread to not have to answer it. I reminded her twice more and she refused to acknowledge it up until the last minute, and she tried to tell me that, oh, you're not going to keep her for that time. You're going to drop her back on Sunday and pick her up the night before Thanksgiving and drop her back the night after, which made no sense because at the time I did have the week off, but then I ended up having to change that. But I was still able to have our daughter and keep her safe and secured and spend the time I feel I'm entitled to with her. And she had a problem with it. To note, she just mentioned that for this visitation on Wednesday that I called over 100 times and I showed up to her home, which in my personal opinion is a valid reaction to having your child withheld from you, versus her reaction for the Thanksgiving Sunday. She only sent me 3 text messages on me not being at the drop-off. Never called, never anything else. It wasn't that much of a concern to her. If she was worried as a parent, I feel that there would be more calls, more text messages, potentially driving all the way down to Fort Myers if you really wanted to go ahead and get your child back. But she did none of that. As well as before, with her had been unemployed and potentially have been unemployed again recently. The time sharing allows that we exchange our daughter at 9 o'clock at night in Bartow, with still a 2-hour drive to come back home, not having our daughter home until 11, which I don't agree with because that's very late to have an infant child on the road. But despite her having been unemployed, she'd never agreed to go ahead or not only inform me that she could drop off our daughter earlier, but just kept withheld her and is okay with our daughter traveling that late at night. So,
well, that was a lot of stuff that she needs to respond to, so do your best, Ms. York.
Yes, I'm not sure where he's getting the unemployed thing. I very much am employed. For the doctor's appointment, doctor's appointments, I have let him know each time she's sick what medication she's on. I provide him with the medication. For the doctor's appointments in Orlando, that's because they're open on the weekend.
Objection.
You let him know about doctor's appointments? Do you tell him?
She does not let me know until...
Oh, hold on, let her speak.
Yes, when I drop her off to him, I do let him know.
Do you ever tell him that he can come to doctor's appointments?
Right now, because of COVID, there's only one parent allowed.
And do you have all the information that you can find out about? I don't know if they have a...
Yep, he has access to the portal.
The portal's unhelpful, Your Honor. All it does is let me know that she was at the doctor's visit, her current temperature, weight, what she came in for, and if they prescribe anything. Outside of that, there's no other information to get from the portal.
Well, that's good information to have, don't you think?
It just lets me know that if she's had a fever or she wait, there's no exchange of information, there's no notes. It's just, hey, she was here, here's the basic preliminary stuff that happens at every doctor's visit: blood pressure, height, weight, and if she gets prescribed something, it shows she gets prescribed something. If she doesn't get it, that's it. So I mean,
what about this daycare issue, Ms. York?
She is in daycare. It's in Orange City. which is about 20 minutes from me. I was recommended the daycare. They're very good. I've been paying the daycare expenses. He hasn't been paying child
Objection.
support or helping.
Hold on. There's nothing to object to.
This is a motion of contempt, not a custody hearing. Not custody. Child support hearing, Your Honor. Bringing up expenses has nothing to do with the contempt.
Well, it kind of does. So you can continue, Ms. York.
So yes, she's been in daycare. I do work from home, but just because I work from home doesn't mean that she would get, the attention that she needs and me be able to work at the same time.
You're right about that. My daughter-in-law works from home, and she has to have a babysitter or bring my grandson to daycare. So that's valid.
But at that distance, Your Honor, it's more than 20 minutes. It's a 30-minute drive.
Well, she's telling it's 20, and she's the one that's doing it and paying for it. I don't understand why you're complaining about it.
She made the comment that I showed up at the daycare.
Especially if it's a good daycare for your daughter.
There are just as good daycares. I've looked, Your Honor.
You don't know that. Did you check them out?
I did. I went and I researched and I've made calls.
You always have all the answers, Mr. Allen. Always have all the answers.
I try to be a diligent parent, Your Honor. I apologize.
I know. What the motion is about is you don't agree with the final judgment still. You have an appeal out there. I think it might be dismissed unless you paid.
I dismissed it. I don't feel that I should have to continue to come out of pocket to prove that I'm a more capable parent than the respondent. Your Honor, here's
the thing. You want everything your way, Mr. Ayala. I get it. But the final judgment is the final judgment. That's why I asked you if you're getting your weekends, and you told me you did.
And she withheld my daughter once already.
I read the message record.
Yes.
About the missed day, and you were threatening. I don't know why you can't be at least nice.
Your Honor, nice doesn't work with the
repertoire. If you were at least decent, you might be able to co-parent together. But your attitude doesn't allow that, and I can't fix that.
Your Honor,
there's nothing that I'm going to find her in contempt for.
She still withheld my daughter, Your Honor. I don't understand. This isn't the first time that she's violated court orders, and there has been no repercussions.
And you're violating court orders too.
How?
You kept a child.
How did I violate? There was no specific time frame, Your Honor. There was no saying. It says Thanksgiving holiday. There was no dates. There were no times. How am I in contempt for holding her when I've spent time with her?
I'm sure that you were late and you've done things too.
Absolutely
not. Just because
she
hasn't brought it up doesn't make it that it wasn't there.
I'm never late, Your Honor, because I know she would use that against me. Every party has
to be flexible.
And she continues to refuse to. And every time that there is where what you say is that I am not civil, it's being provoked out of me.
Did you read your messages? They're nasty.
Your Honor, you
know that I'm going to read them, and they're still nasty.
To find a parent wrong for being upset that the other parent continues
I'm not finding anybody wrong. I understand that you don't like the court order. I get it. There was an avenue for you to fix that. You chose not to.
Your Honor, there is no law or mandate that allows her to continue to have our daughter. That at no point in time was she ever put into question whether she was capable. She's only given our daughter as primary custody simply because she's the mother. She does not have the work history. She does not have.
That's not true. Oh my God.
Your Honor.
Since when can you read my mind?
Your Honor, there has been absolutely no evidence, factual or legal evidence, given to suggest that she's the more capable parent or that she is supposed to have the primary.
Let me give you some things, some examples. You are stupid. What's your problem? Everything, and then if the child's sick, you're blaming her like it's her fault.
Because I have lived with her, I know the kind of home that she keeps, Your Honor. Despite the fact that I cannot call CPS because I don't have any proof, you can't change how somebody is just because she gave birth to our daughter.
If it's so bad, then you should call DCF.
I have, and they refuse to help because I can't give them anything. I've never been to that home.
Well, if they refuse to help you, then you know why. That there's no grounds.
Because I can't see inside the home, Your Honor.
Well, if there's a concern about a child, believe me, they'll go into the home.
I have called for concern. My daughter has been sick all the time with constant earaches. That can lead to a mental deficit later in life if she continues to have earaches that way. I know I have people that have siblings that have Down syndrome or some type of autism.
You know everything. You have all the answers.
Your Honor, I do my research. I do care about my daughter, and I am the better parent.
I know you care. Believe me.
So then, can you provide any kind of factual basis that it's in our daughter's best interest to be with the mother than to be with me? Because outside of her just being a mother,
Ayala, I've already ruled back in August. This has all been done. This is not a rehearing.
I know this is not
an appeal. This is not anything. This is whether she's in contempt of the court order.
And she is.
I'm not going to find her in contempt because she kept the child away from me one day after what I read you were saying during that time.
So then if I do the same, Your Honor, then the same should be given to me. I drove 200 miles to see my daughter. How's that not flexible, Your Honor? On a Wednesday during a work week. I don't understand how that's even allowed to begin with.
She told you where to pick her up, and you wouldn't do it.
Because I don't want to be near her home because of this exact kind of situation.
It was a police station.
And it's 10 minutes from her house.
That's not even...
I drove 200 miles.
Mr. Ayala,
I don't understand, Your Honor.
You create these situations.
I said Altamont. I don't create. I just want to spend time with my daughter, and I continue to be refused.
You want everything. You want everything your way. You want everything your way.
How is that everything my way, Your Honor? She has my daughter majority of the time.
Your daughter. You want to keep talking over me. No, it's not always your way. You don't know everything.
So she's allowed to dictate whatever she wants. If it's not her way, she has the right to withhold our daughter.
That. Did I say that?
You're not holding her to contempt, Your Honor.
In my mouth.
You're not holding her in contempt.
The court order is the court order. You follow it.
And she didn't. So now what?
You didn't either.
How?
You didn't.
How?
You were telling her to go somewhere else.
It's still in the same county. So how is that wrong? It's close. It helps make it more flexible because I'm driving over 3 hours to come see my daughter. She can't drive an extra 15 minutes.
Listen, I'm not going to go over and have to dictate every.
This is bias. This is a prejudice bias. This is a prejudice bias. Continuing to allow her to. She's taken my daughter out of the state. She's been unemployed for 2 months. Has faced 0 repercussions.
You just said she was working.
We already established she isn't, Your Honor. Just because she says she is, I've already given proof that she's with an inflexible schedule as hers. She was able to take our daughter to go ahead and on doctor's appointments very far from her home.
On a weekend.
They weren't weekends, Your Honor. It was a Monday and it was a Thursday.
Listen, the relief that you're asking for in your motion is impossible for me to grant.
Can you explain why?
Because the law doesn't allow me to do it.
Yes, it does. The only law in this court is the only law for this case is 61.13, which she continues to violate. Okay. There is no mandate that says that she gets preference. There is no any kind of the Florida law is a 50-50 state. Once paternity is established, it is the best interest of the child to have 50-50 custody unless there is reasonable doubt otherwise. And
no, that is wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
Your Honor, I know how to read, Your Honor.
I argued with you about this once.
And I spoke to 3 lawyers about this.
The ruling is the ruling. You have the benefit of my ruling. Your motion for contempt is denied. That is it for this hearing. Y'all continue to follow the final judgment. And if you're going to continue down this road, y'all are going to be spending lots of money on lawyers, parenting coordinators. You got to work together to co-parent. Because all you're going to do is ruin your baby. So, that's all for today. Thank you.
I have a question.
What's your question?